kindness and niceness are often used interchangeably. And it's one of the most tragic, most unfortunate things that I hear people do. So nice by definition means being polite and agreeable. And I really hope that we can agree that like that's a super low bar, like the lowest bar ever. I mean, tripping over it. You can think of the worst human being you know, which sadly should not take too long. I guarantee you that person can probably squeak out a please or a thank you or have some superficial pleasantries tumble out of their mouths. Kindness is what I'm talking about. Kindness is demonstrating through your actions that you genuinely care about another human being or another living creature. And you do it when it's hard, when it's inconvenient, when it may even cost you something. Put it this way. Niceness is...
Hello, everyone. Welcome back Beyond the Desk, admin advocates. Good to see you. I don't know if I could be more excited to intro this episode.
I think we can already say this is going to be our favorite episode. I just know it will be.
I think it is false to say that we could be any more excited. But for those of you who have been with IAAP for any length of time, or if you've listened to any of our past episodes, I think we shout out this guest like every other
all
episode.
the time.
Oh my gosh.
So, we are so thrilled to be here with Shola Richards and get to chat to him a little bit about his work and the mind-bending fact that he is going to be with us again at Summit this year in LA. So we're going to hear a little bit of sneak peeks of his keynote and all of that good stuff. So Shola, hello. Good to see you.
Oh my
It's great to have you here.
Oh, Rachel, Mel, family, IAAP, let's go. It's taking everything in my power to not start flipping tables over here because I'm so excited about this. I mean, I'm trying my best because, by the way, for the listeners, so it's always super fun to be at an event that you love, but this is a little bit different because to not just go to an event that you love, but to be in community with two dear friends, Mel and Rachel, this is not a business relationship. I adore these two like family. So having the opportunity to be on this podcast with them and that time, IAAP Summit back in Nashville, Tennessee, I want to say 2022 if my memory serves. Mm-hmm. And I've said this before, and you know what? I mean, we can keep this as a secret, right? If this gets out, I'll deny everything. By far my favorite speaking event of all time. And I loved it. The energy there, going the boardwalk. One of the admin professionals got me a Auntie Anne's pretzel. It's like, hey, you're the speaker. Let me give you this pretzel. I'm like, I love you. And after that, it's just been love at first sight. And I've never gone back. All-time favorite event.
That surprises us not at all.
Not even a little.
That story encompasses our community in the most beautiful way possible.
Yes. Yeah. I do know a lot of people have already mentioned how excited they are that you're coming back to Summit.
Yay.
So I think you'll have some repeat folks in the audience this year who definitely are coming for Shola.
Mm-hmm.
Super excited. I think a great place for us to start. We have such a short amount of time and so many things that we want to talk about.
We have to talk really fast.
I do feel like I'm speed talking. But talk a little. Your shirt is like the perfect segue for I think
this whole thing.
I feel like you maybe did that on purpose.
It's funny how that worked out. It fell out of the closet and onto my chest. Here we are.
But I would love for you to just share your thoughts and ideas around kindness versus niceness, which is a great segue into a point for you to start talking about who you are.
Let's do it. So for those of you who are listening in and can't actually see us, the shirt is kind is greater than nice. So that's kind of the just the visual in case you're like, what is he wearing? So
go to YouTube and check it out.
Yeah.
I know. Yes, exactly. Please watch the YouTube and you'll be able to see me in said shirt. You can get it for yourself if you wanted to. So kindness and niceness are often used interchangeably. It's one of the most tragic most unfortunate things that I hear people do. So nice by definition means being polite and agreeable. And I really hope that we can agree that that's a super low bar, like the lowest bar ever. I mean, tripping over it. You can think of the worst human being you know, which sadly should not take too long. I guarantee you that person can probably squeak out a please or a thank you or have some superficial pleasantries tumble out of their mouths. Kindness is what I'm talking about. Kindness is demonstrating through your actions that you genuinely care about another human being or another living creature. And you do it when it's hard, when it's inconvenient, when it may even cost you something. Put it this way. Niceness is saying please and thank you while the world burns. And kind people are the ones who are actually putting out the fires, tending to the burned, and making sure this stuff doesn't happen again. It is the harder path. And right now, niceness is not going to serve us, especially as admin professionals, because oftentimes I hear a lot, and I think, I don't know if I shared this last time in the first season episode that I was in. I used to be an admin professional, and I was known for being the prototypical nice guy, smiling all the time. But I think a lot of people want to assign niceness to the admin professional community. It's a more challenging thing to be kind, to be able to deliver difficult news, to have boundaries, to be the person who's going to say, no, this isn't okay. The one who may look at a culture that is not the culture that you want to be in and be the one who leads first by your actions. This is kindness, and it's so much harder than niceness. And that's why we don't have a lot of kind people in the world right now, because we need people to lead the culture change. And I am calling on my admin professionals to do that in a very practical way.
I love that. That actually leads me to one of the questions that I had for you that I think is so important, especially for our community and, as you're saying, the world that doesn't often show up kind these days. Like, what do you think that looks like for administrative professionals to lead in a kindness culture when the culture around them isn't supportive of it?
What's funny? I think I often talk about my mantra as becoming strong enough to be kind. And I feel like a lot of people equate kindness to weakness when the reality is people aren't strong enough to be kind. It takes superhuman strength to show up with kindness when you're surrounded in a culture that's not kind. And especially as an admin professional. So I personally think about times when an admin professional has changed my life. For example, in a previous job, that first onboarding email that I received from someone, that moment where I felt seen and heard by someone, the warmth, the energy, when I was walking in for my job interview, and the first person that greeted me was the admin professional. And by the way, this goes both ways. I mean, I've had it where I've walked in and the person's like, oh my gosh, you're amazing. So glad you're here. You're right on time. You look so nice. Oh my gosh. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to nail this interview. And it seems so small, but I want to be so clear about this.
Yeah.
There are no small acts when it comes to creating culture. Like, this is how cultures get changed. Oftentimes what we see people do is they look around at the toxicity, whether it's from their boss or from their colleagues, and like, oh man, what's the point? That's like being like, what's the point in showering? I'm only gonna get dirty again. It's like, well, yeah, you are. So you're not gonna shower for the rest of your life? The same thing comes here. So like, whether it's remembering someone's name or just being able to greet someone in a way that makes them feel seen and heard, or even understanding that you are the bridge, in a sense, between the leadership of the organization and also the rest of us, that's a powerful level of access. And if you keep doing that with positivity and kindness, not just fluffy smiling all the time stuff, which is lovely because I'm a big smiler, but how we show up consistent in those small moments, whether it is remembering someone's name. Like, I have a unique name that gets butchered a lot. So when I would go to a place and someone would remember my name and pronounce it correctly, I felt seen, I felt heard. And you're not maybe the most important thing, sorry, I'm on one right now because I'm just so feeling my admin professional family. The one thing that I try to remember most when I was an admin professional was when you're dealing with difficult people, and it's kind of part of the gig these days, is to not match energy and just not to be the person who's like, you know what, if I'm in a culture that's already not the way that I want it to be, and people are communicating to me in a way that doesn't feel good, by me then choosing to save the same energy back, that's a wild choice. So, and I'm hoping people can choose the stronger, less traveled road of not matching energy for energy when it comes to negativity and unkindness, because that's how we get to change cultures and ideally change the world.
Oof, I love that so much. And we talk often about the role that admins have inside of organizations as that connector. And you so beautifully talked about that experience that you can have in a business when it's the first person you talk to, the first person you get an email from, or the first face that you might encounter when you're coming in for a meeting or a job interview, how important that human connection is. It actually speaks to this idea of being kind. Seeing someone, making eye contact is such a simple thing that we take for granted all the time, as we're traversing our day, we get busy, even just thinking about the interactions that we have in our day-to-day life and how we can infuse a little bit of kindness into that. We try really hard to connect admins to that responsibility that they carry and they have. But the way you just talked about it, it's agency. It's
agency.
You have that power and control in yourself to make those choices regardless of the culture. So I just want to exclamation point that for our audience, because it's such a big deal that we take for granted. And I think the admin community especially takes that, and not even consciously. It's not like they're consciously taking it for granted. We just miss it as an opportunity because we get so burdened or bogged down by tasks and or the negative culture. So I also love the concept of matching energy. That is also agency. So there's so much choice in the things that you said about how we get to choose how we show up, how we behave, how we respond, how we treat one another. So if I could shout all of the things that you said.
100 emojis.
It's so true for this admin community. I think that's why it feels so strong to me, because these are messages that I don't think the community hears often enough.
Yeah.
Well, Mel, to your point, and I'm so glad that we're highlighting agency here, because it's so easy to feel like you don't have any. And especially, the world is on fire. There's a lot of things that are not ideal that we're managing. And even in a macro sense with the world, but also more in a micro sense within our workplaces and our communities, and feeling like there's nothing that I can do. I try to tell people that you're only helpless if you're unconscious or if you're dead. And thankfully, if you're listening to this podcast, you're neither. So you have that going for you, if nothing else. I find that one of the things that helps me to reclaim my agency in a world that feels very bleak and dark is we're not counterbalancing things. We're so focused on all the negative things that are going wrong. I have a daily practice called my evidence of good practice. And it's very simple. It's like, I am so focused every single day to find things that are going well. Like if I saw someone allow someone to merge into traffic, oh, that's so nice. That's so good. Evidence of good. Oh, in the grocery store, someone no, after you. No, sir, after you. No, after you. I was oh my gosh, they're fighting over who gets to go first in line, allowing the other person to go first ahead of them. That's evidence of good. All these things that are happening on email where someone said they enjoyed my podcast, evidence of good. The challenge with doing this is that it allows you not only to reclaim your agency and realize, oh my gosh, there's certain things that are happening, but we start shifting our awareness back from, oh my gosh, this person's so toxic. I can't stand this person. Everyone in this organization doesn't know what the heck's going on. And before you know it, you're so locked into this place where you do find learned helplessness very quickly. And the problem with learned helplessness is a lack of imagination. Of course, there's something that we can do. Of course, there's a way out. We can always look throughout history. I'm kind of a history nerd of all the toxic, terrible things that have happened in our history. I mean, not to go here, but if you think about chattel slavery back in the day, the idea that institution that was bringing in so much money would ever come to an end was unthinkable. But then again, the right people took the right thoughts and started focusing on the humanity of the people who are being suffered through this process, and miraculously change happened in a way that most people didn't think was possible at the time. So if that can happen, if Viktor Frankl in a Nazi concentration camp could be hey, I'm going to find purpose and meaning here, despite my family dying around me. Y'all, if Viktor Frankl can figure this out in the Nazi concentration camp, we can figure this out at work.
Right.
That's the energy that I'm bringing. Agency in the darkest times have changed lives. So we stay locked into our power to find agency. We can do this as admin professionals in any workplace that we find ourselves in.
Ooh, so true. So true. Snaps. Well, and I think Mel, I think you said it, but the responsibility piece, going back to Summit and kind of talking about the focus, it really is the power of the profession. And we talked about
Yes.
that, like your keynote really aligns to that. And I think one of the things that we don't always think about is the intersection between power and responsibility. And you talked
Mhm.
about the power that someone had when you first walked into a place of business for an interview. And that is a place of power. You are the face of this organization. Maybe not consciously, but you are. And the responsibility that comes with that to how you show up, how you interact, how you impact other people, like that really is what you're talking about to us in LA this summer.
Mhm.
And I would love if you could, I mean, we could expound on this all day. Would you expound like a little bit on that?
Oh my gosh, I would love to. Can I actually give you a real example if that would be helpful? So,
Yes.
in a previous job, I was going in for an interview. I was about to be promoted. Well, I didn't know that. I was applying to be. And so there was a woman who, and I'll change her name because I want to, I'm always, some people get really embarrassed about this type of stuff, and who knows if she's ever going to listen to this. Who knows? Maybe she'll be at the conference. That'd be hilarious. Maria, let's call her. And I went in for this job and this interview, and she was so incredibly kind and sweet. Now, this is a job that was a little bit out of my comfort zone, and I had imposter syndrome for days. And what she did is I'm sitting there, and she could probably sense my nerves as I'm sitting there alone in like the holding room as I'm waiting to get called into this big, big office. She said something to me that I'll never forget. She's like, Shola, like, how are you doing? I was like, I'm good. It's like, listen, you're in this place for a reason. Cause I can sense that she sensed I was nervous. So she already went to pep talk. You're in this place for a reason. You belong here. Do what you do. You'll be fine. Now, that's all I need to hear. I went in, got the job. Years later, and I would run back and I would tell you, remember that time during the interview when you pulled me aside and you said this? She could not remember. And she's like, I don't remember ever saying that. So this is the power, right? When people are the power of small moments. To her, she was just doing her job and being lovely. To me, it was life-changing stuff. So like, that's what I tell people, like when you think that the stuff is small, when you think it doesn't make a difference, make eye contact, to smile at someone, when someone's offering a glass of water, when someone is freaking out, thinking about this could change the trajectory of my family's life if I land this job. That kindness, that small stuff is the difference in someone walking in confidently and feeling like they belong in the room that they're in or not. Like literally you're changing potentially generational lineages by what you're doing in that interaction. So it's not like, oh, I'm just smiling at the person. To that person, at this point now, God, that was 11 years ago. 11 years ago. Here we are in this podcast still talking about it. That's how powerful this stuff is. So when you're talking about responsibility, Rachel, and the power, that's what I'm talking about. That's the energy that I remember. Who knows if I'd even be here if it wasn't for that. So yeah, it's a very powerful thing.
I love it. That's a great example.
Story. Good job, Maria.
Yeah, Maria, my gal.
I think it's really apropos that we made it to the power part of the conversation, because the other really great thing about you and the energy and just your mission and how that connects, how Rachel and I saw that connecting to the power of the profession, is that power, because it's being used in lots of ways for evil, for bad, for the wrong reasons, not in alignment with the mission of kindness at all. Quite the opposite in a lot of spaces, in a lot of very public spaces. Our government in positions of like true, real power and authority, we're seeing it being used in ways that make it sound like a bad word. Like when we think of the word power, I think a lot of people would say that's bad. Power is bad. But the reality is it's not inherently bad. People have used it in ways that are bad. And what this connection is that we're trying to make for our admin community is that if you use it in the space of responsibility to kindness, then it actually is a powerful tool for good. So I'd love for you, as we think about wrapping, to talk a little bit about like what is your hope and your goal to deliver to this audience in LA.
You know, I'm so glad, Mel, that you made this point, because power is not good or bad. As you said, obviously it can do enormously horrible things if used poorly, and you can use enormously powerful things if done in a powerful way. My thing is this, and it's very easy for some, and what's so great about IAAP is that there's no real need for me to spend a moment convincing them of their worth and their value. That's already been well documented, so I don't need to be like, you are so important. You know that already. The one thing that you may not know, the admin professionals, is the amount of power that they have, and the power to change lives in a meaningful way. The story that I shared before is a very common one, but you also think about something that is the power of shaping a culture within a community, within your department, within your organization. When you show up with kindness, it actually, especially when you start offsetting it, you're not, exactly like I mentioned before, matching energy with energy that may not be positive. The power of that is that someone can be like, you know what? Like, hey, so God, Rachel, I came in with some really intense energy before. I'm really sorry. And that's not cool. And they start to reflect on that. They start to think like, God, I'm coming in like a total jerk. And I'm seeing this person be the model of professionalism and kindness, irrespective of how I'm showing up. I need to do better. That's power. Power isn't always screaming and yelling. It's the power of influence, the power to be able to see someone to do something in that leading by example. Personally, and anyone will tell you this, the best way to change behavior is to lead by example. Nothing is worse than the person who's like, you know, you see it all the time with my previous boss. Anyway, it was like, I have an open door policy. And the second you walk through it, she starts rolling her eyes like, okay, well, so much for that open door policy. It's like when you are showing through your example, especially, and this is the most important thing, especially when it's hard to do so, especially when the culture is not immediately rewarding that kindness, and you're doing it in a countercultural way to what you're seeing in your department, and showing up with kindness, that's power. It's a power that, and a strength that most people don't have. So when you possess that and you show it and you demonstrate it, you then have that example that sets the whole wheels in motion to start culture change when other people see that it's possible for them to do what you're demonstrating through your daily actions. That's real power. And at Summit this July, I'm going to give you practical skills to show you exactly how to do it. I can't wait. I said I was going to flip tables. I said I was going to flip tables. I want to flip tables so badly. Y'all don't understand. I'm so fired up for this. I cannot wait for Summit. Can we just do this? Listen, I'm here. I know I'm here in LA. Neither of you are, unfortunately. But let's go. I mean, listen, I can, 20 minutes, I'm going to be at the JW. I could go ahead and start, we can make this happen. Downtown, we can roll. Let's go, man. I cannot wait for this. I'm so pumped.
So excited to have you with us in LA.
It's going to be amazing.
I really, really hope, one of the goals of this podcast episode specifically was to give people some intense FOMO if they are not registered yet.
Oh, if you're not registered, what are you doing?
What are you even doing with your life?
Oh my God.
Just come. Trust us. Just come.
Yes, trust me. And I'll throw this out there. If you saw me speak before in 2022, this is not the same talk because the world's different now. I mean, there's a lot of changes from when I was on stage 4 years ago than what I'm going to be saying now. And I think it's important for us to look, AI wasn't a thing. I mean, it was, but I wasn't aware of it in 2022. So like, it's a lot. The world is really changing. And I think a lot of people are tired and they're frustrated and they really need practical solutions. And I'm going to give those to my admin professional fam in July.
We can't wait.
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for being here today with us, for sharing your brilliance. I am super fired up. I always get like that when I talk to Shola because I'm like, yes, we got this. So thank you.
Now I'm like, how long do we have to wait for this?
I know, for 3 months, 3.5.
From recording, actually, by the time this drops.
I think it'll be shorter.
It'll be shorter for our audience.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Hopefully, by the time this drops, everyone's already registered.
Just be like,
I mean,
I'll see
for
you
real.
there.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Let's make that happen. I cannot wait for this. Oh my God. And most importantly, I can't wait to see both of you. I adore you both so much. I just cannot wait for the hugs that are going to happen. I cannot wait to see you both.
Hugs we've got. This community, I mean, the three of us, yes, and hugs are our community specialty, I think. So
Man, and I'm here for that energy. Cannot wait to receive and give.
Yes. All right. Well, we do have to wrap, but thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you in July.
Yes, you will. Count on it.
And
And
all y'all
you.
too. Bye.
Thanks.